Welcome back to another great episode of Vkind Connects. I'm your host, Shabnam Islam. And joining me today in the hot seat is Paige Parsons Roache. Woo! And many of you know this lovely female as the communications director for Unchained TV. She's done a lot of work and she's gotten a lot of people out there. So we are super grateful for her. And she's also the producer and co-host of Plant-Based in the Burbs. So, yeah, Paige, what a pleasure to have you.
Thank you. I do want to say co-producer, because Sherri, we're doing everything together. It's so much fun. We're having a really great time, making things happen. So
I love that. And let's talk about that, since we're already diving right into Plant-Based in the Burbs and Sherri. And for those of you that don't know Sherri, she is amazing. She is the definition of fit influencer, I think, at any age, because too many times we think about fitness when you're 18 and you're 20, but to be able to withstand that through the ages and still keep the energy and the physique and figure that she has, she's amazing. And you guys together are such a good combination.
Oh, I appreciate that. We're having fun. You know, we used to be at the gym together. I used to teach group fit classes. I don't know if you know that.
I did not know that.
And she's a trainer, so I would teach Pilates. I taught spin class. You can just see me in there with the, I always had like the awesome playlist and everything. And then I would teach group fit classes, just all kinds of formats and everything. And then sadly, this women's gym, shout out to Total Women, it closed down completely, like out of business in 2020. Yeah, 2020. I taught the last class, the one out here, where I live. And so anyway, but Sherri is a coach, and I essentially just, like to hike and work out and do all kinds of things like that. It's very important to stay fit and to, keep the body moving. She's taught me just 30 minutes. Hashtag that. So shout out to Sherri for keeping us on. She always reminds us to hydrate. So, get your water in there. So, yeah.
So tell us a little bit about Plant-Based in the Burbs. What can people expect to see when they watch this amazing show?
Oh my gosh. Well, we started out by trying some green smoothies, green juices, not far from where we were working. And then it just led into us really enjoying sharing our lifestyle with people. And that's what we're about. So we have 6 cooking shows that are up on Unchained TV right now. And they're short, they're sound bites. And essentially our motto is, if we can do it, you can do it. So I'm constantly, burning things and dropping things, and we're having fun. But we want to just make it accessible to get more plants on people's plates. I came into being vegan through my 13-year-old daughter, who came home and said she was going vegan. She had done some research on food waste and seeing what happens with animals, like with mamas and milk and the babies being taken away and everything like that. So, I was not planning to go vegan. I don't know about you out there.
Yeah, I'd love to hear more of this story. So wait, this initiated with your daughter coming up. And how long ago was this, Paige?
This was 8 years ago. Okay. Yeah, literally right now. Boom. And she walked in the kitchen, Mom, I'm going vegan. And I just thought, okay, one of my besties is vegan. It has been for 20 years, Rhea. And so I knew somewhat about food, So I was like, okay, great. Let's shop. Let's do. Honestly, let me be honest. It wasn't great. Because I knew now I had to cook a different meal, at least thinking about her and dropping out the cheese. And, I had dabbled in vegetarianism for years, and I have a son at home. They're all out of the house now, but I had to cook for 4. And how was I going to do this when I didn't even know how to do this? And I really wasn't a chef or like enjoying in the kitchen. I kind of threw together meals because I was really busy doing all these other things. I've always had a home-based business being a parent. Now my kids are in their 20s. And, working, doing the gym thing and doing this and this and this. So I was like, are you kidding me? And then I will say, I'll just flash forward 6 months later, I watched Cowspiracy. And mind you, those of you out there that know the old school me, I would carry around a basket before I went vegan for about 3 years that had sustainable things in it, like straws. I was that annoying person that would be like, hey, I can sell you a straw. Or have you thought about, changing out your straw or your bamboo? And I was that girl. So a lot of people here in Los Angeles do have their bamboo, things from back in those days. So when I sat down and watched Cowspiracy and I saw it talks about how much water and resources are used to get pepperoni on my pizza, or, for me to have like a lick of ice cream or an ice cream cone. I was stunned. Like, I never thought about, first of all, I never thought about the mothers, that they're mothers, that they're lactating mothers. And then I never thought about how much water I drank as a mother, a nursing mother, nursing both my kids. I was constantly parched. Of course, a mother cow's going to need a ton of water, So then I thought, it just, like, the light bulb went off, and I said, I need to leave a better planet for my daughter. And if I continue my habits, that's super selfish. That's incredibly selfish. And I thought, I have to go vegan in order to walk my talk as a sustainable, mindful, eco person, environmentalist. I would be full of BS. I could not look at my daughter in the face anymore. So literally it was like, boom. And I had spent 6 months changing my taste buds, like exploring with her, and then bringing in dishes. And sometimes my son would be like, I'm not eating that, I'm not eating that crap. And I'm like, okay, you know where the fridge is. Go on over in there, make yourself, we got cereal, we got toast, go for it, PBJ, because I was making what I was making. I was really trying, but I did kind of suck at the beginning.
So now are you a fully vegan household?
So my son's out of the house. My husband is a flexitarian and my daughter is fully vegan. She's out of the house, but yeah. So we have two that are vegans. And when we travel, I can talk to people about that. We sometimes we'll go our separate ways, although we did do a fully vegan trip this summer, and, they weren't missing their protein, let me tell you.
So it's possible. And I think that's a great insight that I'd love. I think our community would like to hear, because I think some people are like, well, I want to go vegan, but my partner isn't vegan, and I don't want to have this. I have to cook multiple things. So what key tips do you have for people that are really kind of in the same boat that you're in?
It's been a journey. I will say it's been 8 years, of exploring this. And there's been, I became an animal rights activist about 5 years ago, I think it was. And I'm not going to say it's not tough, because I do think of those animals, but I have decided to focus on love. And when you focus on love and you focus on compassion, then you're cooking meals and I just took the emphasis off of focusing on what wasn't happening, and I started focusing on the love that I share with my son and my husband and the rest of my family. And I changed my priorities from being right about that they need to go vegan like right now, to being that I want to spend quality time with them. I think the quarantine really helped with that. It did, for sure. Because I realized how important my family is. I get all choked up. And that they're going to be there with me till the end. And if it's the last four of us standing, we all got these tattoos. I don't know if you can see it, core 4. I want to be a loving person to them. That's what matters more than anything else. And at the end of the day, when you're with me, we're eating vegan food. Yeah. At the end of the day, we're going that's how we're eating. I'll spend time with you elsewhere, but I'm not going to sit there and watch you eat dead animals. I just can't. It's too hard on my heart. So my family knows that. My entire extended family knows that. My friend groups know that. And let's go to an art museum instead, or a walk, a hike. Come on over to my house. I'll cook you a really great meal now. I'm pretty good at it.
Right.
Or I'll bring something to the table, But love mattered more to me than being right.
Oh, that's so beautiful, Paige. Oh, and then, I'd love to talk a little bit about your animal activism, because you made such a big jump from not even understanding veganism to then being like, oh, well, we have a lot of waste that we're creating here. And now, oh my God, this is impacting the social structure. I can't stand for social justice if I choose to continue to support this industry. And now you've moved into animal activism, which is a huge part of what Unchained TV is. So I'd love to hear more about what you're doing in that.
Thank you so much. Well, one of the things that I have supported along the way is the Animal Save movement. And I've become the organizer for the Fur Save, which is essentially basically waking people up about their fashion purchases. The cruelty of the animals being, exploited for fashion. And then we also expanded out to the Plant-Based Treaty, which is encouraging people to also look at what they're consuming on their plates. So that's a piece of my activism. But I will say, the very first time I was invited to go to a pig vigil, and I chose to go, when I looked at the pigs in their eyes, I just knew I couldn't continue with pepperoni on my pizza. I couldn't. I mean, I wasn't eating bacon and ham and everything else, but still I was having pepperoni, and it extended beyond the pigs. It became, what about those, burgers and different things that I would have, chicken and so forth. I just realized that animals' lives matter for them, and they have a will to live. And who was I to say, even fish, because sushi was my last holdout. And so I just feel like if I can do something about this food system changes, there's a lot of people who say like, well, what about the people that don't have accessibility to food? Okay, to vegan food or plant-based food. I say, well, I feel like it's my job to activate, to change systems so that as food is accessible, which leads me into talking about Vegans of LA food bank.
With Gwen Hunter, right?
Gwen Hunter, and Sherri and I are out there monthly distributing food, and Gwen has done a beautiful, beautiful job with organizing with a food bank, an existing food bank. So anyone who's listening out there, you can do that too. You just need to talk to the person and then coordinate, because they have the staff, they have the refrigeration, and we show up and we get donations from brands. And then we literally distribute out to 250 people in one location. And then Gwyneth is doing multiple locations and now reaching out to universities and doing things there as well. So it's really beautiful. And I love that if I have the capability and I'm strong, willing, able, time, go for it, that I want to be able to provide that for people that again, don't have the accessibility, or, we're not talking about the people who they don't have, like, that's it, like, they just can fish, like indigenous or whatever. I'm talking about the people that are watching this, or on Clubhouse or on Instagram or on TikTok or YouTube or any of those things. Those are the folks that most likely can make these changes. And if I can do it, you can do it. And if we can do it, so can you. That's what we say on Plant-Based in the Burbs. Yeah.
But, it seems like for you that in the last 8 years, building community is something that's really important to you. And I kind of want to know why that is. What is your driving force to build a community anywhere, whether it be for those that have less accessibility or for the animals?
Well, that's so funny, because it's more fun when you do things together, I think. So when I started with what was called Jane Unchained News Network, I remember looking around and seeing there were all these great people that were doing these amazing things. And I became a volunteer contributor. We have 70 of them around the world. There's probably like 40 that are active at this time. But anyway, and I remember just thinking, like, there's all these really amazing people. Maybe they want to do something with this, lunch break live, let's say. That's what we were booking at the time. And I would call people, and like, I'll never forget Charity Morgan, who's Derek Morgan's wife. She called me on a Saturday. I wrote her phone number down. She's like, yeah, I'll come and do a lunch break live. I'm coming to Los Angeles. And then she goes, well, I'm coming to LA. We want to do some things. You want to meet me at the hotel, and like, we can go to some restaurants and things. And then I ended up putting this with Gwen Hunter. We put together a really cool like meet and greet at Olac downtown. And to me, it's like, I want to just connect people. That's really important to me. And I realized that is totally my purpose in life, is to connect people. It's like, I want to give away, or I want to just bring people together, because I love the vibe. And when I vibe with someone, I just want to have lunch with them and introduce them to 10 new people. It's like, I can't help myself.
It's like, how did you not end up in PR, fresh out of college? Like, I feel like that was your calling, right?
I did that. I did that for 6 years before I became a mom.
Oh, yeah.
I did an events coordinating and events promote. Shout out to Dan Harari, who gave me a great gig in PR in Hollywood. So I did that for several years. And then I got married and had some children, and I ended up being on the board with a nonprofit, and we would put on events, and basically the kids move the world dancing for social causes. So I was always out there promoting those events and things. So I pivoted and homeschooled and did some of that for 10 years and I was part of that. So I know I'm a natural promoter.
You are.
It's funny because I don't really, this is new to be my thing or our thing with Plant-Based in the Burbs. So promoting it out there. So anybody out there that is shy to promote your art or your music or your thing, I get you, because I'm in that boat now. But if you, I just want to say, if you do need support, reach out, because I am doing that as well. So I am supporting brands, getting the word out. along with the other things we're doing with Plant-Based in the Burbs, which is basically bringing lifestyle. Our goal is to bring a lifestyle out there and to promote other people and what they're up to as well. Very much like Vkind, which is so cool.
And so outside of Unchained TV, outside of Plant-Based in the Burbs and Vegans of LA, are there any other brands or organizations that we should know that you are currently working with? You said Animal Alliance Network, LA Animal Alliance. Yeah. I saw you at the LA Pig Vigil at Farmer John's, so that was really... It's so hard to say that it was nice seeing you there, because it is. It's nice seeing you there, but it's like, why do we even have to be there, kind of thing.
Yeah. Animal Alliance Network and LA Animal Save are the ones who are in charge of the pig vigils and the other things that they do. I'm with a subsidiary of the LA Save, which is LA Fur. So we do those things. LA Fur. Yeah. I just wanted to say, because they work so hard, all those folks that are running those campaigns and those, organizing for those groups. I mean, they work really tirelessly, and Plant-Based Treaty is really awesome. So something else that I do is I work with Dr. Silas Rao of Climate Healers, and we produce a virtual convergence every third month, so quarterly. And it's been extraordinary to help book guests on there, as well as present myself. I did a really cool presentation. I should have brought my compost bin over here, but I did a cool presentation on composting, because that's something else I'm doing, is I'm educating children all the way from age 3 up into middle school right now. And I want to shout out to Cecily Stewart Garcia, Full Circle Compost, because she brought me on as an educator, and I've been learning all about the importance of pulling our scraps out of the trash. So you think, like, how do I have all this time? Well, that's 5 hours a week or 6 hours a week. And then, you fit it in. Because if it's important enough to do. Because it's essential. Sherri taught me that too. But I have a lot of energy, and I feel like I've got a good 10 years to really go for it, like really in, and then after that, I'm probably going to be, my husband and I'll be like in a tiny house, I don't know, or an Airstream, driving around, visiting different, I don't even know, but.
I love it. Because, that's what I want to know is what is next for you, Paige, because for those of you that don't know, Paige also got selected to be part of Pinky Cole's, I think, 17th session, but you had some scheduling issues, so you weren't able to log on. But I would like to hear, I think our Vkind community would like to hear, how did that happen? What was that about? What was your proposal? And what is coming up for you?
Well, I got the experience to attend Pinky Cole's experience in Hollywood with Gwen Hunter. That was one of the most awesome experiences. I mean, we're talking down to the stairwell saying, eat plants, like everything was curated so intentionally. Pinky Cole is absolutely intentional. And I watch that. I see that. I see how the things and messages are being put out. So once I saw the sesh was up for anybody could put it out that they wanted to be a part of it, I just jumped on board with it. And, whatever... I think I don't know if it's a random drawing or whatever. I'm hoping that maybe future sesh, because I wasn't able time constraints. But let me tell you, Pinky Cole's the person to follow right now. Just follow what she's doing, from getting married to branding to expanding. Everything that she's doing is so intentional. Just watch it. And the thing I love about her, she gets people up on stage, and we all got on our phones and donated to the person that was up on stage. Like, she's all about lifting up voices. She's also about teaching Black generational wealth. And she's literally, I don't know, she's just got an empire that's exquisite, and I just so appreciate. So I would say what's next for me, what's next for us with Plant-Based Burp, you're going to see a lot of us. We are expanding. We've been just these 6 cooking shows, but we're really about lifestyle. And we're about showing people how, if we can do it, you can do it. If you look like me, don't be afraid. I'm going to show you how. Same thing with Sherri. She's a beautiful Black woman in her 60s, and she's rocking it. And she's rocking her fitness, and she's rocking her beauty. And she has a brand of athletic wear that she's launching. So that's really exciting for her. But we're going to have merchandise, and we're excited because we're going to the Women's Vegan Summit in New York in May. And if you don't know anything about that, I know there's tickets still available. So we're going to be rocking our brand there, sharing with people. And our goal is that other people feel inspired by what we're doing, so we can give away the nuggets. There's no secrets here. I've learned so much from Jane Velez Mitchell. And one thing that I love about Jane that she always said is, we're open source. Let's go. We would literally be like, repurpose it, please. She's like, if I'm gonna, sure, I'll be on that podcast. I'll be on that. I mean, I was looking her for so many interviews in 2020 and 21, 22 podcasts, you name it, this, that, interview, blah, 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 because she just wanted to give the information away and support other people in doing this and getting the message out about animal liberation. That's what this is really about, but it's also about feeding people, because if you look at the food system, it's very broken. We have hungry people and we have lots of food on this planet, but majority is being fed to animals. So that people who choose to, eat the animals, that's what's going on. So a lot of people don't know, and I feel like it's a great opportunity for all of us to share what we know, what we've learned, because it's a learning journey. And then, come on already, let's go. Get in there. My family were cattle ranchers. I lived on a farm in Tennessee, which I don't think you knew, in 3rd grade. We rode a bus, a dirt road, onto a bus. When we got home, my brother's pig was there to greet us. Tricky. Do you know what? Tricky, sadly, had to become bacon and ham. And when I look back, my grandparents were just trying to feed these 4 kids and moved in with them in their 60s, 70s. They were already in their 70s. So I understand that. But now, as a person who can make choices and make, informed choices, my goal is to, hey, farmer, maybe make some mushrooms instead, if I can be the one that can help that reformation happen, so that's what I'm all about. Not making enemies, but connecting people as allies. I think that's important.
Yeah. And Paige, I really think you do that. I think you embrace community. As I said, you are so kind and welcoming. You are the first face of anybody when we think of outside of Jane Velez Mitchell for Unchained TV. We think of Paige Parsons Roache, and I think for our Vkind community, it's so important for you guys to know who Paige is, because she truly is like Glinda, the kind witch in The Wizard of Oz. Like, I've never seen anyone so gorgeous and bubbly and so kind, and really here to accept you into the world of veganism. So we'd like to thank you so much for joining us today, Paige, and just sharing a little bit of your wisdom and your experience with us.
I appreciate you guys. You're working hard over there to bring out the message and doing it in such a really kind way. So thank you so much.
And I guess that wraps up this episode of Vkind Connects. To learn more about Paige Parsons Roache and everything that she's doing, check out Plant-Based in the Burbs. And to watch this episode and many more, go to www.vkindconnects.com. And we'll see you next time.